All right, hold up. Wait a minute. They should go to jail. Go to jail. I don't even know what to do about that. Sue Bambi. I'm Mark Breyer of the Husband and Wife Law Team, and I'm a trial lawyer. Like, I go to trial to help people who are in crashes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share some thoughts on some of these videos. Don't forget to comment, give me ideas, give me feedback so I can help add more to what I'm going to talk about. Let's have some fun. By the way, this is my first time through these. I have no idea what I'm about to see, just like you.
But it's crazy. Like, he had one hand on the... What the... Oh my God!
What happened, babe?
Oh my God, what is he doing? Babe!
Babe, what happened?
I don't know.
Babe.
I got into an accident. Oh my God. Oh my God,
Where are
babe.
you?
All right, hold up. Wait a minute. Right now, I want to tell you something in case you're ever on a jury. Did you see what the first thing she said was? What happened? She's like, I don't know. I was in an accident. Now, if you didn't have the video and all you had was that first reaction, be like, oh yeah, she was at fault. Because she didn't say someone just backed up into me. It all happened so fast. So often, my clients who are the victims of someone else's negligence, their first words out of their mouth, oh, I'm sorry, I'm at fault. It's before they have a time to even process. Very often, it's the honest people that get judged harshly, and the people who are schemers and connivers that say all the right things because they know what they're doing. Like in this video, you know what this person is going to do. This person is going to flat out jump out right now. We're going to see together. I haven't seen it. Know exactly. Oh, we got rear-ended. You know that's what's going to happen. You know what they did? The swoop and stop. That is a classic automobile insurance fraud scam. It's done on a 3-lane road. So the car in the middle, you get two friends, and the two friends surround the other car so they can't get out of that lane. And then the car swoops in and stops. This was super common a lot of years ago. At least I hear less about it. I don't know. And it's another thing I want to talk about. People see these videos and you're like, man, fraud happens all the time. And come on. All the people you know in a collision, how many of you know have been in something like this? You've seen videos like this because if there's a video like this, it's a 1 in 1,000 thing people want to talk about. All right, let's see what's next.
This guy just reversed into me. What the hell is going on?
There we go. Now it's
Reversed into you?
Yeah. Oh my God. Oh,
Oh
shaking.
my God. Babe.
Yeah.
Just stay there. Oh my God.
Oh my God.
Where on the Brown Parkway?
Oh, holy shit. You know, after that turn?
Yeah.
Oh my
Babe,
God.
it's okay.
Alright, hold on. Hold on, okay? What happened? Hold on, babe. Oh, wait.
Did you see, I don't know if you saw, the guy saw the dash cam.
all I can tell you from what I saw is he got up near it. I don't know what he saw. They were immediately taking pictures, grabbing their head, grabbing their neck. No one came to check on her at all. And that's another thing about these insurance fraud cases is that way back when this used to be something you had to watch out for. I've spent my whole career fighting when people were hurt, except at the very beginning, I spent a little bit of time on the defense side. The cars were always filled 4, 5 people deep so they can all make their claims. That was crazy. So 1, get yourself a dash cam. Go ahead. Just do it. Let the truth be told. Number 2, man, these scammers, scandalous. Number 3, do not judge people on what they say in the first 6 seconds. I'm not saying to ignore it. It may tell you something, but her first reaction was, I don't know. And then she immediately said what actually did happen. And as far as insurance fraud, no, it is not an everyday thing. Yes, it's disgusting. Yes, it should be prosecuted. Yes, they should go to jail. Go to jail. They should not just lose their case. They should go to jail because those cases, it's not just about what they're doing to take advantage of insurance companies, which is one reason they should go to jail. The bigger reason to me is then legitimately hurt people get judged harshly for things that the scammers are doing. Send them to jail. Intentional insurance fraud that hurts all the innocent people like the people I fight for. Did I mention they should go to jail? All right, what's next? Here we go. All right, listen up. Who's at fault? You got to sue the turtle? No, you don't have to sue the turtle. This is a case where the driver who stops quickly is going to say, hey, look, I was just stopping for a turtle. That's legitimate. What does the law say? The law says it's up to you if you're on a jury. Number two, what were you taught before you even had a license? To always give enough space in front of you. So if the person in front of you has to slam on their brakes unexpectedly, you have enough room to slow down. So now we're going to have the person who hit the other person who slowed down going, you don't stop for a turtle on a freeway with lives at stake. And the turtle stopper is going to turn back and go, you were taught at 15 years old, dude. You knew to keep enough space. You watch people on the road. You know who's right? It's up to the jury. I know, Mark. What are you talking about? What is the answer? The answer is there's probably comparative fault. In English, if you slam on your brakes for a turtle on the side street, may not have any responsibility. You do it on a 2-lane highway with lives at stake, and you probably are going to have a lot of people blame you. On the other hand, if you don't give enough space to avoid crashing into someone who has to stop in an emergency fashion, you're going to have a lot of people blame you. The answer is, in all likelihood, most states' laws will leave it up to the jury, and most jurors are going to blame both people involved. In this case, like all 6.
I'm pretty sure that semi-truck actually ended up running over the turtle anyway.
Let's find out. You ready? Maybe, I'm just saying, throwing it out there, maybe it went under the truck, but not under the wheel. The turtle may still be alive. Oh! So who's responsible in that situation? Clearly, the person who does not secure the load is responsible. Now, are people still going to blame the motorcyclist? They shouldn't, but some people will say the motorcyclist should have kept more space. And most people on a jury, guess what? Have never been on a motorcycle. So they judge riders unfairly and harshly. The clear responsibility when you're sitting here, like, you don't ever let something come off your vehicle and hit someone else. That's on you for how you secure it. But I do think the motorcyclist cannot just rest assured that justice will be done. That's the kind of situation where someone could blame them just because simply you're on a motorcycle. That's the risk you took. They're wrong. That could happen. One of the risks that can happen here is someone goes, you could see it coming undone. You should have been more careful. You should have fallen back as a motorcycle. You should have changed lanes. It's the kind of hindsight that people do to bicyclists and motorcyclists. They do it all the time because generally they're in a car, and so they see them differently than they see themselves. All right, let's see what's next.
Oh, God.
Oh my God.
Oh, God.
All right, we got the same issue. Secure your load. So just like you have to be careful when you drive, you have to be careful about anything else that would cause someone else an injury. So if that causes an injury, the responsibility is going to be on that truck for not making sure they did their job to keep others safe. Who's responsible? Who's responsible? There's no traffic light. Almost always and almost entirely the person turning left. Why? First of all, the right-of-way belonged to the car that was going straight. Second, who's in a better position to avoid the collision? The person going straight doesn't know if you're going to come out. You know you're turning and you have the obligation to look. Now, I'm going to tell you right now, you're going to say, well, why don't you slow down when you're approaching it? Do you realize the difference between a hazard and a potential hazard? So we sometimes hire different experts, accident reconstructionists, human factors experts. And here's what you'll realize next time you drive down the road. You don't stop for every potential threat, or you would never get from here to the grocery store. Every car on every side street is a potential threat. Every vehicle in front of you and behind you is a potential threat. Until that vehicle becomes a threat, you're not going to react. When that car pulled up to make that dangerous turn in front of the vehicle going straight, you can't stop for that vehicle. You can keep an eye on that vehicle, but you can't possibly start stopping every time. You're going to cause more collisions than anything else. The responsibility there is on the vehicle turning left. Some states, Arizona as an example, has a statute that puts liability directly on a left turner for turning that close to an immediate hazard. The responsibility is almost always going to rest in that car with the left turner in front of the vehicle that is the right of way. Okay. Okay.
Holy moly.
All right. Let me tell you why the driver of that vehicle that left the road may not be responsible. The driver of the vehicle just left that road. Let's show it again. I just want you to see this. Ready? See how it's going straight ahead, but off the road right up until it hits that. All right. Right in front of a cop. Nice job. Everyone's going to go, the fault rests on the vehicle and the driver going that way, except for one thing. There is a good chance that there was a sudden incapacitation there. We've dealt with this many times. Generally speaking, drivers driving at a normal speed on the road who suddenly veer off and keep going. The driver had a heart attack, a stroke, passed out. There's a million different things that can cause someone to lose consciousness, and they didn't know they were going to lose consciousness, and they didn't have a chance to prepare for it. So I'm not telling you that that was what happened here. here. But when you see that, you go, I know what happened. That driver was so negligent. Generally speaking, negligent people don't just start driving, crossing traffic, and run themselves into a pole without ever braking. The fact that vehicle never braked and kept going in a straight line suggests there's a good chance of sudden incapacitation. What does the law say about sudden incapacitation? In most states, it says you are not responsible, because under the law, it's not who causes the collision the way you and I do it. It's whether or not you were negligent. If you're unconscious, you didn't fall below the standard of care, you didn't act as an unreasonable person, unless you never should have been behind the wheel. So someone has a history of passing out, don't get behind the wheel. I had a case, a horrible, memorably tragic case. The driver killed this beautiful couple. They had been married for over 30 years. In 30 years, the wife had never once filled up her gas tank. He was an amazing man. They had an amazing marriage. After they retired, they decided to go on a road trip. During that road trip, somebody passed out at the wheel, crossed into their lane, took his life, and badly hurt the wife. The argument they made was sudden incapacitation. I passed out. They actually got proof that, in fact, the driver had passed out. It wasn't even arguable. So sudden incapacitation, that's where a lot of lawyers would have quit. No way. We dug into everything we could dig into. You know what we found? This driver never, ever should have been behind the wheel of that vehicle. This driver had a history of neurological issues that could raise the possibility of passing out, and took a job that drove 40 hours a week. You put yourself behind the wheel 40 hours a week when you have a history of passing out. That's negligent. And that's how we were able to win the case. Plot twist. The guy in the second bike, she jumped on, they rode away, they got married and lived happily ever after. I don't even know what to do about that. To be honest with you, I'm glad it didn't end with someone being really badly hurt, so that's good. Who is responsible? I would say probably you jump yourself onto the back of a motorbike and you do not make sure you hang on. There was nothing that we saw beyond that. Had that been a bad injury, I don't think she's got a really strong case against the rider who didn't seem to do anything too crazy. If you look at the timing of that thing, the vehicle we're watching through saw that vehicle, that many ton, take your life type vehicle coming in, and got out of the way, while the driver of that vehicle saw what was happening and avoided hitting a regular, probably passenger sedan, from what I can tell. That's the vibe I'm getting. I'm not positive based on the height. And instead hit a truck, though tried to avoid it. I mean, we know who's responsible here, but whoa. Once again, dash cam to the rescue, but man. Secure your load, or you are just as responsible for the injuries that happen as if you hit the person yourself. If this vehicle had to swerve suddenly and you were negligent in securing your load, the same rules of negligence apply as if you turned left in front of someone that you shouldn't have turned left in front of. You know what we see all the time? Cases where drivers of tractor trailers are involved in collisions like that, and they just drive on. And when they get caught later, they often say, I didn't even know I was in a collision. And it's difficult because sometimes very similar collisions, some drivers pull over and some don't. The ones that don't, of course, they're professional drivers, and they often say, look, I didn't even know I was in a collision. So it's something to be aware of because we see it somewhat frequently.
Are they held liable even if they genuinely didn't know? Would that be technically a hit and run?
There's two parts of our justice system, civil and criminal. From a civil justice system, leaving the scene in many states is not even admissible. You couldn't even use it against them. They left the scene because it only matters who was negligent in causing the collision, not what you did after. From a criminal standpoint, that could be a hit and run. And then it's a question, do the prosecutors think they can prove beyond a reasonable doubt that the driver knew or should have known that they were in a collision? Oh no. Worst part about that driver, who's hopefully okay, is probably not the one who secured that load and was the victim of someone doing something horribly below the standards that led to that. Hopefully that driver's okay.
Hey, dashcam video.
But hold on. This is the thing about collisions. The collision, no matter how you dissect it, you can download the black box, you can hire experts, you can measure the skid marks, you can measure the gouge marks in the road, you can talk to witnesses, but none of those things tell you the color of the light overhead. So many cases, everyone puts in so much time, so much money, so much effort, and they reconstruct the collision. But in the end, it comes down to what was the color of the light. That dash cam is the only reason we know who's responsible there. Okay, let me just talk about that can I just talk about that for a second? Watch this. All right. Let's stop here. Are you allowed to cross the double yellow line? No, you're not allowed to cross the double yellow line. What's this vehicle doing? This vehicle probably pulled in here. At that point, the officer was not pulling that vehicle over. Now there's a car right in front of the vehicle, right? So now they're thinking, I'm stuck here. This vehicle may not be trying to turn left, meaning the black car. That one might be trying to go in front of you. There's a realistic chance the only reason that white car did what it did right in front of the police officer is to get out of the way of this other car that also may have entered across the double yellow, though we can't tell when they entered, and here it doesn't look double yellow. I'm just throwing out the possibility that this vehicle was actually trying to get out of the way. Having said that, you got to get out of the way by crossing back over, although you never should have been in that spot to begin with. And two, police officer's not doing anything wrong. You literally just crossed the double yellow, got into that lane, officer didn't pull you over, and then you went into oncoming traffic. So at a certain point, you're pressing your luck. No. We represented family who lost a loved one in a collision very similar to that. If we could have delayed the tractor trailer by literally half a second or sped up the passenger vehicle by half a second, they would have missed like that. They didn't miss, and instead it turned into a tragedy. Please, when you're driving, please don't let it come down to inches, but that is often what it comes down to. It is not unusual that it is literally a matter of inches between life and loss of life, between just a story and tragedy, because tractor trailers weigh so much that if they even clip you, it can send your car spinning, can send you rolling, can send people out of the vehicle, can crush the vehicle. Literally inches matter when there's a tractor trailer on another side of a regular passenger car.
Oh, wait. The light was
What the?
What just happened?
What the?
I'm licensed in Arizona, Nevada, and New Mexico. I've never seen that. That's got to be something from some other part of the country. I have no idea what just happened.
Who would be at fault if a car was driving over and that just happened? Like, is that the city?
So it depends what caused that, right? The issue is it doesn't just happen on the road. It happens all over there. So on the side of the road, it happens everywhere. Something underground created that pressure, which caused that explosion. Who caused the explosion is who would be responsible if someone had been hurt, instead of it being just something like this. But we don't know. And here's another problem. The government has immunity. So depending on what caused it, the government writes two set of laws. There's a set of laws that hold all of us responsible, and a second set of laws for the government's responsibility. And they write themselves, guess what? A set of laws that make it way harder for the government to be responsible for the same thing you and I are responsible for. So if that was a government issue, which I don't even know what caused that, I don't know if it was a natural issue, but if that was something related to the sewers or something else that was caused by the government, you got to look at the immunity of that state and who caused it, because sometimes the government can just go, yeah, it's our fault and there's nothing you can do about it. You notice there's a lot of swearing in these videos. I'm not saying they shouldn't swear. Like, if there's ever a time to swear, these are the times to do it.
Holy.
Thank you.
Oh, God.
The tire just came off that person.
The tire just came off the Mini. Whoa.
So we have a case right now. How does that happen? Probably negligence. Somebody put that tire on wrong, right? Or theoretically, it was put on correctly and the manufacturer failed and something was done wrong from a manufacturer standpoint, either with the assembly or with the vehicle. Somebody's responsible. You know why? Because tires don't just come off Minis for no reason. Someone failed. Whomever that was is responsible. But this is not a regular car crash. You have to prove it. Proving who's responsible on something like that is way harder. So if someone had broken a collarbone in this case, the cost of getting experts to inspect and figure out who was responsible for the tire may outweigh the value of the case. In other words, you can't afford that much justice. It is an unfair reality. Someone is probably responsible. If God forbid it was a horrible injury or worse, it would be worth finding it out. If it was a small injury, the cost of proving it would not be worth what the person would owe after you proved it. Sue Bambi.
Oh, and it was
Oh!
it's on my dash cam! What?
Why is that person so happy someone else is getting a ticket? You know why? Because no one likes when people pass them. They're fine when they do it, but they get mad when someone does it illegally. Literally like a pit maneuver. That's straight out what we teach police on how to stop somebody, which is actually a very dangerous maneuver. And sometimes police departments can get sued for whether to use it, when not to use it. Please don't hit the sports car. Wait, what? I was starting to say, is that some like visual effect to look cool? But then I think it would be on both sides. I think the really, really expensive sports car is on fire. This car is catching fire just from revving it, or at least there's correlation. If you have a car that looks anything like that, you should have comprehensive insurance so that other than your deductible, no matter who's at fault, you're covered. Because if you don't, and you lose I have no idea, $400,000 automobile, and you don't have insurance that covers it in every way, now you have to go prove the manufacturer's fault. It will cost you $300,000 to prove your $400,000 loss if you prove it. If you can afford that vehicle, then you can afford the insurance. If you can't afford the insurance, then you actually cannot afford that vehicle. Okay, forward and backwards, bad combination. Honk, honk, honk. All right, who's at fault? You got one car pulling up that sees this car in reverse. The car in reverse never sees the car behind it. The car behind it right here with the dash cam does stop, but doesn't honk. Who's at fault? I hate to break this to you. That would be up to a jury. However, what do I think? Come on, man. When you're going in reverse in a driveway, I know you don't expect someone there. You don't know somebody's there, but this car is stopped. Should be easy enough to see if you're paying attention. Now, I will say, if you pull up in a driveway, you see reverse lights on, someone starts coming, and you don't honk or do anything to get out of the way. This is where, remember that earlier video when the person backed up into him? We have had cases where people backed up into our client, and they claimed to the police that they got rear-ended. They denied going backwards. Usually in those cases, there's some sort of evidence, witness, or otherwise that helps us prove the truth. And by the way, when that happens, those people should go to jail.
Believe it or not, jail.
Go directly to jail. Do not collect $200 because not only are you taking advantage of insurance companies, not only are you raising our rates, but way bigger than that, then people think these are normal claims and they deny legitimate people with legitimate injuries justice. Well, thanks for hanging. Don't forget, like, subscribe, follow, comment. I'd love to hear what questions you have, what else I can add. And look, hold on. See right here? YouTube saying, check that out. You'll love it. We'll see you soon. For Mark Breyer of the Husband and Wife Law Team, have an awesome day.